I had actually met Nick in a previous company while I was working for Spinvox, and whilst we didn't specifically engage BIE at that stage, when I then moved into a new company and we were relocating the company from Warrington to London, we lost a number of staff in that, including the company secretary, and I reached out initially to Nick and said we have an immediate short-term need here, and he was able to fill that with a very competent individual at very short notice. So that was the start of the relationship.
When Andrew talks about requiring someone to hit the ground running, once they'd realised they wanted to manage a situation and they wanted to manage it themselves, Interim really is that solution. And it was really sort of discussing that with Andrew and making sure that he was clear about what he needed, and really then talking through the solution that interim management provides. And you always think bigger, you think about a bigger profile to go and hit the ground at speed, because you never know around the situation what else might come up and grab you. So we put in a nice big profile who managed the situation perfectly, I think.
So Andrew, you were convinced. What about some of your other colleagues at work? Did they need much convincing that interim management was the way to go?
I don't think they needed a lot of convincing. I think it was a poorly understood concept. So when I initially talked about it, a lot of people were, well, what does that really mean? So it did need a little bit of explaining, but I think it ultimately explains itself and sells itself. Nick was able to get us some very strong candidates within, I think from memory, literally within about 48 hours. And we actually had someone on the ground probably within about 10 days. So that was a great achievement, and we've subsequently repeated it with a different position as well. So
very, very quick. As far as kind of seeing the results, it took 10 days to get them in there, and they were working hard effectively. How long do you think it took for you to actually see the results of that individual?
I think they were almost immediate. So the particular individual in the first instance was a qualified lawyer with probably 3 decades of experience, had actually occupied very similar roles in a number of occasions in previous companies. So they immediately brought something to the party. Obviously they didn't have the Volex specific knowledge and history, but despite that they were able to contribute from day one.
It can take years building up a panel of interims that we've benchmarked and we've audited and we have track record and references of. So from that we can pick out and literally handpick 3 or 4 profiles very, very quickly, because we've screened and benchmarked and met these interims several times, a number of times over the past few years. So the candidate was briefed for the situation, and then we set up a business meeting. So it's a kind of interview, but it's a business meeting between Andrew as the client and the interim executive. Andrew will explain to the interim the situation, and the interim will explain their solution. They'll talk them through their solution. It's a big comfort factor for them. So it's literally coming and saying, "Don't worry. We'll look after you, and I'll take you through this process. This is how I've done it before." The parameters of the assignment are agreed, terms are agreed, start dates are agreed, and this literally can be turned around within days. Sometimes it's hours.
So it happened quite quickly, Andrew. Tell us about the ongoing relationship that you now have with BIE. Is it something which is developing month by month, or is it something which you drop and pick up at another stage?
It is definitely part of the armory that we have in terms of our talent management within the business. So when we have short-term needs for highly qualified people to fulfill a particular function for a defined period of time, then interim is definitely one of the options that we would consider. As
they grow their business in the UK and also worldwide, that they can call upon BIE and interim management as a solution to assist them in their business growth as part of their business, so they can bring in extra bandwidth to do that. So it's as an assignment comes up, Andrew knows that he can call me tomorrow, and we could have an interim in place in a week's time. It's that kind of relationship now.
To develop that roster of high quality talent takes years, takes a lot of investment in building those relationships, and I certainly saw evidence of that on the side of the interim managers as well.